Hello, everyone. How are you? I hope you're doing well today on this June 4th, 2025. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome. I know that I am tardy to the Diddy party for day 14, and we're currently on day 15, but I needed to step away briefly, but I am back. And I will go ahead and recap day 14 as well as day 15. As it stands with the stats, as far as my point system, for those of you who are new here, I give out a point each day. My point either goes to the government or the defense. At the current moment, the government is sitting at 8 points and the defense is sitting at 2. Now, my reasoning behind the point system is just based on performance. Who's who brought their A game that day, whose evidence, I should say, or cross or recross was better than the other. Is That's basically all I'm saying. I'm not saying with the government currently in the lead, that means that Sean P. Diddy Combs is indeed guilty of all of the charges alleged against him. I'm simply basing my point system off of performance. Okay? Now I know we're at day 15, and you're probably like, hold on. 8 and 2 is only 10. I understand. But remember, we're recapping 2 days today. So I have 2 points to give out. The other 3 days, I think it was kind of no one really, in my opinion, brought their A game. There wasn't any real evidence brought out that was earth shattering, in my opinion. So I didn't assign a point for 3 days. Okay? Now, we're going to hop right in we're going to start with day 14 and then jump right into day 15. Okay, guys? Hey, Lisa says what? Hey, Bush babies. If this is your first time here, please consider subscribing. The channel is in need of watch hours. If you guys can please watch a few of my live streams, specifically my Diddy coverage, if you guys could please watch and or just play it. Like you could play it and turn it all the way down if you don't want to listen to it. Or listen to it and give me your feedback. Let me know what your thoughts are. I don't feel that I'm the end all be all on this channel. I want to hear from the community. I want to hear what your thoughts are as we continue to watch this trial unfold. I want to hear from everyone, and everyone's perspective is welcome here. All I ask is that you use decorum in the comments. Here, we don't victim shame. Here, we don't victim blame. Um, I understand that there are a lot of people who are huge fans of the rap mogul Sean P. Diddy Combs, and that's totally understandable. I'm a huge fan of 50 Cent. I'm a huge fan of Mace. There's a lot of different celebrity artists that I absolutely positively love. But I just ask that you utilize a bit of decorum when commenting in the comment section. And so far, you guys have been really great. All of the comments that I've gotten um, have been just really, really thought provoking, for one, informational, very informational, which I definitely approve, and educational. So, guys, definitely feel free to congregate in the comments. As I said, be sure to subscribe, set your notifications to all so that you're notified when I go live or add new content. Now, let us jump in. Hey, Crystal Mods. Hey, Libby Lou. Let's go ahead and jump in. Oh, wait. Before I jump in, I want to go ahead and talk about just briefly the disruption that happened in the courtroom, the actual courtroom that Diddy was in on day 14 yesterday. There has been this woman who works for the metro system, the MTA, and she has been attending Diddy's trial. I think she's been there pretty much every single day. And according to reporting, this isn't the first outburst that she's had in that courthouse. From what I understand, she started yelling in the courtroom and saying things like, oh, they're laughing at you, Diddy. Y'all just trying to take a black man down. Um, all of this other extra sugar honey iced tea. And clearly they removed her. They removed her from the courtroom due to that outburst. Um, because it's inappropriate. It's open court. Everything that's said in the courthouse or courtroom, I should say, rather, is placed on the record. So, and luckily, I think this was done outside of the presence of the jury, but I kind of think that this woman knew that she wasn't going to get too far with her outburst. I'll put it in those terms, outburst. But for whatever reason, she wanted to do that. I don't know if someone put her up to it. I don't know if this is just her genuine heart and her actual feeling towards the current case, but it's inappropriate. You have to actually have some decorum while you're in a court of law. Now, they did also ban someone else other than this MTA lady yesterday. They banned someone from the courtroom, well, actually, from the courthouse. And today, they did also ban her. Um, which I'm not really surprised at that. I'm kind of, I'm more surprised that they waited a day to actually go ahead and ban her. But from what I understand, she's still showing up outside of the courtroom, voicing her opinion, which she has in this country. The beauty of this country is freedom of speech. So she has that right to voice her opinion. But as I said, when you're in a court of law, you have to exercise a level of decorum. You have to conduct yourself in a professional manner. You cannot be yelling and shouting out things out of emotions or whatever your belief is. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. It was, from what I understand, it was kind of crazy, but guys, are you surprised? Is anyone who is in the room right now surprised about the outburst happening in the courtroom, in a court, in this federal courthouse located in the state of New York? Anyone? Anyone? Because I'm not. New York has, to put it in a respectful term, some of the most interesting personalities, I think, the world over. There's nowhere like New York. There's no other place that resembles or that can actually give you that feeling of the city. So there's going to be people who are extremely outspoken, fearless, um, and just marching to the beat of their own drum, which I love. I do love that about New York. I really do. I lived on Long Island for a number of years. When I moved to Connecticut, I spent a lot of time going back and forth to the Bronx, to Jamaica, Queens, to Harlem, to Brooklyn, um, And I just remember meeting some of the most interesting people. And when I say interesting, I mean like from intellectuals to like the guy living on the side of the street or street performers. So I love New York. It's a really interesting place. So I'm not surprised with the outburst. I'm sure some of the out of towners and maybe some of the reporters were kind of like clutching their pearls. They were probably clutching their pearls like, wait, what? But it's New York. It's New York. So let's go ahead and jump into day 14 testimony. This is a voiceover reading of the testimony from Mr. Eddie Garcia. Now, Eddie Garcia was a employee of the Intercontinental Intercontinental Hotel in Los Angeles at the time of the incident captured on surveillance video in 2016. The day before yesterday, on day 13, he did come into the courtroom and he invoked his Fifth Amendment right. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with the law, let me say this: like when I go over different legalities or different constitutional rights and things of that nature, I want to make sure that you guys understand I'm not undermining anyone's intelligence. I am bearing in mind that my viewers may have a range of knowledge. You get what I'm saying? Some of us are up on game, as the young kids say. Some of us may already know some of the main constitutional rights, some of the main legal statutes and things of that nature within our states and or area. So I explain the way that I explain in an effort to make sure that some of the newcomers who are just kind of learning about the law or trying to gain a better understanding of it, know what I'm saying when I say it. That's it. So I want to make sure that I'm very clear on that, because I don't ever want anyone to feel like I'm talking at you and I'm telling you something that you already know. So I'm very mindful that my audience is not only for the knowledgeable, my audience is for everyone. And I want to make sure that everyone gets something out of every stream that I do on this channel. So he invoked his Fifth Amendment right. The Fifth Amendment allows an individual to assert, um, to basically remain silent, um, based on a concern that statements or testimony that they may give could potentially incriminate themselves and open themselves up to legal risk. Okay? So he asserted that right, and they discussed immunity so that he would feel confident and safe in giving his testimony without the threat of prosecution. Now, with that being said, I was listening to someone earlier today. Excuse me. I was listening to someone earlier today and they were saying, "Oh, why hadn't they worked out all of these immunity? Why didn't they work out all of these immunity agreements before court? This is ridiculous. The government should have handled this ahead of time. This is atrocious. This is a waste of time." The government does not have the capability of working out an immunity agreement without the approval and signature of the sitting judge overseeing the case. For instance, if the government would have given Garcia immunity ahead of time, he wouldn't actually be technically granted immunity. He would have an agreement from the government, but there would be no actual approval until presented in open court and accepted in open court by the presiding judge. So I just want everybody to kind of understand that this is just a part of the process. It's not something that's outside of the norm. It's something that we will probably see as a reoccurring theme in this trial. Anyone that has been given a proffer agreement and or immunity, you will hear about it in the course of their testimony or during the course. Like if the government were able to get the judge's signature prior to the date of their testimony, you might not hear it in open court. But many of these people are from out of state, out of town, so it's very difficult for all of the moving parts to work together. So I just wanted to put that out there for everyone. All right, enough of that. Let's go ahead and hop into it, guys. If you haven't already hit that like button, please smash that like button for me one time. Let's go ahead and listen.
Calls Eddie Garcia. Where did you work on the day in question? The Intercontinental Hotel. I was told there was an incident involving Sean Combs. Do you see him here? Let me show you your sign-in sheet for that day. Yes, I signed that. Week ending March 10th, 2016. Could you monitor all the cameras? Not all, but more than one at a time. Would you be required to check the monitors? Yes. Did you initially recognize the individual involved in this incident? Not at first, but when I looked closer, yes, it was Mr. Sean Combs. And did you learn who the second individual was? Yes, Ms. Cassie Ventura. Why was law enforcement not called? Ms. Ventura did not request it. Did you review the incident report? Yes, there was an attachment that I didn't open on the computer, a video file. Did you receive a call? Yes. From who? Christina Coram with a New York area code. She asked if I had the video. What did she ask for? The video. She said
Okay, I'm going to pause there real quick. I would be surprised if Christina Coram, first of all, guys, she's not sitting next to Sean P. Diddy Combs in court as a co conspirator or co defendant. That tells me something, okay? That tells me that the government is probably working with her on information about the organization as well as her position. Additionally, her name has been brought up in just about everyone's testimony. We've also heard the name of D Rock, one of his bodyguards, also a reoccurring figure throughout folks' testimony. So I'm just going to tell you guys that if the government brings in Christina Coram, aka KK, I'm going to hit the floor that day. I'm literally going to hit the floor that day. You're going to be able to buy me for a penny because I would think that aside from Cassie's testimony, that's going to be extremely sticky for Diddy. It's going to be very difficult for Diddy's defense to discredit Christina Coram. They may have embarrassing moments from her or things that maybe she doesn't want to share publicly, but she was considered to be Diddy's right hand woman, kind of like his Ghislaine Maxwell. So I wouldn't be surprised if she's called to the stand before the government ends their case in chief. Let's get back to Eddie Garcia. But you hear, she reached out to him on the phone asking for the surveillance video.
Holmes had been intoxicated and didn't remember exactly. At this moment, the defense objected, and it was sustained. Then they had a sidebar, then continued. What did you tell Miss Coram? That she would have to talk to management. Did she reach out again? Yes, I got a call from the lobby that she was there looking for me. What did she ask for? The video. How did you respond? That she had to talk to management or file a subpoena.
Notice, initially, Christina Coram called him, and then she showed up in person with the same request. She was requesting the video. The video surveillance that everyone saw when it was aired on CNN of Sean P. Diddy Combs, just it. I don't even. You guys saw the video. It was unacceptable. It was inexcusable. You guys saw the video, but this is the video that they're speaking on right now. I'm going to run it back a little bit, but remember, she first called him and then she showed up in person.
Intoxicated and didn't remember exactly. At this moment, the defense objected, and it was sustained. Then they had a sidebar, then continued. What did you tell Miss Coram? That she would have to talk to management. Did she reach out again? Yes, I got a call from the lobby that she was there looking for me. What did she ask for? The video. How did you respond? That she had to talk to management or file a subpoena. Did you tell her what you saw in the video? Yes, I told her. Off the record, it's bad. Did you get another call? Yes, from an NY area code. It was Miss Coram. She put someone else on the phone. Who? Mr. Combs. He asked, do you know who I am? What did you say? I said yes. He asked for the video, said he had been intoxicated. I told him, I can't give the video. How did he sound? He was talking fast and stuttering. He sounded nervous. Did you email management? Yes. Bring up GX7R149. What is it? The email I sent? At this moment, the defense objected, and it was overruled. Did you get more calls from Ms. Coram? Yes, on my personal number. How did you react?
Okay. They asked if he received additional calls from Christina Coram, aka KK, and he says yes on my personal phone. How did she get his personal phone? How did that happen?
Told him, I can't give the video. How did he sound? He was talking fast and stuttering. He sounded nervous. Did you email management? Yes. Bring up GX7R149. What is it? The email I sent? At this moment, the defense objected, and it was overruled. Did you get more calls from Ms. Coram? Yes, on my personal number. How did you react? Nervous. Ms. Coram passed the phone to Mr. Combs again. What did he say? That I sounded like a good guy, that he could help. That something like this could ruin him. He wanted the video. He said if it got out, it would ruin his career. I said I didn't have access to the server. He told me he believed I could make it happen. He would take care of me. What did you think he meant? Money for the video. What did you do? Reached out to my supervisor about it. Who was your supervisor? Bill Madrano. He told me he would do it for 50. What did you think that meant? He'd give the video for $50,000. What did you do? Called Christina, who put Mr. Combs on. He called me Eddie my angel. Mr. Combs told me I knew you could do it. Let's do it right away. I told Bill Madrano. What did he do? He went into the server room. Then he handed me a black USB and said, done. The video was in the USB. What did you do? Told Mr. Combs. Where did Mr. Combs want to meet? West LA. He said, let's get it done. He wanted the video as soon as possible. I told Bill Madrano. He told me to tell the others I was on an errand for him. GX8A104. What hours did you list? 10, 1800. Where was the meeting point? A big high-rise building. I called the number and someone came, said he was Mr. Combs's bodyguard. How did he look? Older African-American, heavy set, 6 feet 3 inches to 6 feet 5 inches. What did he say? That he kind of came up with Mr. Combs, that he was a good guy, and I was doing a good thing. Upstairs? Mr. Combs was smiling, called me Eddie my angel. My voice was cracking, so I said I was coming down with something. Mr. Combs told Christina to go get me some of the tea that he liked. Then he asked, do you have it? I said yes and handed it to him. What'd he do? He left, came back. He asked if it was the only copy, and you said? I believe so. Mr. Combs said it had to be the only copy, nothing in the cloud. I called Mr. Madrano, and he said it was the only copy. He took it off the server. What else did you say? That if Cassie filed a complaint, I could get in trouble. Mr. Combs said don't worry. Cassie wanted it gone too. He called her on FaceTime and showed me. She was in a hoodie, but I recognized her. What did Ms. Ventura say? That she had a movie coming out and wanted this to not come out. He wanted my ID and that of Mr. Medrano and the responding officer, Mr. Flores. But he is a very straight guy and probably wouldn't do it. I told Bill Medrano. What did Mr. Medrano say? We'd get Henry Elias, the other responding officer. When Mr. Combs saw the IDs, he looked at Henry's and said, yeah, that's him. Then he brought out the NDAs that I wouldn't speak about it. GXC 106. Do you recognize this? It states I have provided the only copy of the video. Did you read it? No, I was nervous. Is it?
So, very interesting testimony so far. It seems like what, well, not seems like, what definitely, first of all, Eddie Garcia needed that immunity agreement. He needed it because what he and his boss did in this scenario was is considered to be a conspiracy to commit a crime. So absolutely he needed full immunity for his testimony. And his boss wanted $50,000 to do this, to get the video, the surveillance video off of the server and out of the cloud and hand it over to Diddy. I ran it back a little bit so that we could really listen in on what occurred here.
The other responding officer. When Mr. Combs saw the IDs, he.
Oh, also, the Eddie Eddie said the initial responding officer was too straight laced, that he may not go along with the plan. So they need to get the other officer involved because he looked like he would probably be more on the take, or maybe these are probably regular officers that show up for different incidents at their hotel, because officers work a beat, they work a certain area. So working in a hotel with multiple disturbances, I'm sure that the head of security or a security guard would have gotten familiar with each individual officer. So Eddie suggested that they use a different police officer to do this thing, and apparently it worked out.
Looked at Henry's and said, yeah, that's him. Then he brought out the NDAs that I wouldn't speak about it. GXC 106. Do you recognize this? It states I have provided the only copy of the video. Did you read it? No, I was nervous. Were you given a copy? No. And the NDA? What were the liquidated damages? $1 million. How much were you making? $10.50 an hour. Then what? Mr. Combs put cash through the money counter. There were stacks of 10,000 at a time. The machine displayed at the end $100,000. Why the additional $50,000? For me and what he thought was Israel Flores. How did Mr. Combs give you the $100,000? In a brown paper bag. Was the bodyguard there? Yes. And Ms. Coram, was she present? I would say at some point, yes. I stood up. Signifying? That I'd be leaving. Mr. Combs escorted me to my car. He asked how I'd be spending it. He said not to make any big purchases. At this moment, the defense objected, and the judge told the jury to disregard that last answer. What did you do? Called Bill Medrano and gave him $50,000. How much to Mr. Elias? $20,000. What did you do with your $30,000? Bought a used car with cash. Did you hear from Mr. Combs again? Yes, he called and told me, Happy Easter if I ever needed anything. And did you reach out to him later? A few years later via Instagram, asking if there was work in LA. I never heard back. Mr. Flores, did you see this video again? Yes, on a news outlet. Also, Mr. Flores messaged me a screenshot. Did you keep these messages? No, I wanted nothing to do with it. Were you contacted by law enforcement? Yes. Did you tell the truth? No, I wanted nothing to do with it. Did you get your own lawyer and then told the truth? Yes. No further questions. At this moment, the cross-examination began. Sir, you were in the condominium unit with Mr. Combs and others and received double what your boss was requesting. Fair. Yes. You told your boss because you were honest, right? Yes. You asked Mr. Combs for work? Yes. Let me show you the NDA. This part says exclusions, right? Under NDA, you can't speak, is my understanding. It says nothing prohibits truthful statement in a legal proceeding. I see that. You weren't law enforcement? No. I have nothing further. At this moment, the redirect started. NDA, paragraph 4. Can you read it after, however? Notify company to allow company to prevent disclosure. So you'd have to notify them first? Yes. Nothing further. With that, the government calls.
Okay, so I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Brian Steele did the cross examination on Eddie Garcia, and he pointed out the fact that in the NDA that he signed, it stated that the person is allowed to cooperate with legal proceedings. And I was just like, okay, this is indeed a legal proceeding. This is a legal criminal case, and Eddie is participating in it. So he hasn't technically, first of all, when you sign an NDA, if there's a criminal case filed, it's null and void. An NDA will not, um, it does not preclude you from going up and giving a true and honest testimony on the stand in a criminal case. Okay. But I liked that the prosecution, the government went back on redirect and had him read that section in which it stated, prior to contacting or dealing with law enforcement, contact the organization first so that they can, what did the wording say? I think prevent the situation, prevent the communication with law enforcement. So Brian still tried it, but the government clarified basically, yeah, you say they could talk to law enforcement, but they actually have to contact you first for permission to do so, for the organization to attempt to prevent that, to happen from happening. You understand what I'm saying? So it's kind of like there was really no permission for anyone to speak to law enforcement. Let's say, for argument's sake, Eddie felt bad and he wanted to go to law enforcement, like, hey, this is what happened. This is what I did. I'm so sorry. And I did X, Y, and Z. The NDA states that he would have had to contact the organization prior to contacting law enforcement.
Understanding. It says nothing prohibits truthful statement in a legal proceeding. I see that. You weren't law enforcement? No. I have nothing further. At this moment, the redirect started. NDA, paragraph 4. Can you read it after, however? Notify company to allow company to prevent disclosure. So you'd have to notify them first? Yes. Nothing further. With that, the government calls Derek Ferguson. How do you know Mr. Combs? Worked for him 1998 to 2017. What was your role? CFO. How are your bonuses determined? Company results and my performance. Were you responsible for managing Mr. Combs' personal finances? Yes, at times during my tenure. Who was your supervisor? Sometimes to Mr. Combs himself. How often did you interact with Mr. Combs? A couple of times a week. Later, he became more of a chairman. How did you communicate with him? Back then, pagers. Who is this? Paul and these individuals. Roger Bonds and D Rock. They were security. Was Mr. Combs the sole owner? Yes, 100% of Bad Boy Productions and Films. What was his role? Creative and marketing. Did some ventures have partners? Bad Boy Records with Arista, also with Warner. Sean Jean Clothing had a partner. What were the profits? Very profitable. How was Mr.
Now, hey, Coco Cutie, how are you, love? Good to see you. This is an AI voiceover reading of the actual accounts and what was said in court today. I just want to correct, and I'm sure you all know, it just said Sean Jean. It's Sean John. Okay? Just wanted to correct that. That popular brand that Diddy came out with back in the day.
Combs paid? Sometimes salary, sometimes distributions from the companies. What is a distribution? If solely owned or passed through like S Corp, the owner determines to draw down. Did each have a bank account? Yes. Could you sign on the accounts? Yes. Which banks did the Combs companies use? Citibank, HSBC, and Signature Bank. What is this one? Janice Combs Music Incorporated. It furnished his name and likeness. Mr. Ferguson, are these your initials in section 4? Yes, it was September 29th, 2009. Is this also a business checking account? Yes. And this one, with Diageo, about Ciroc? How was this account funded? Inflows? What about credit cards? Primarily American Express expense reimbursements. Did Mr. Combs have an American Express? Yes. Did he use it for personal as well as professional? Yes. And the companies paid? Yes. How was outgoing cash handled? We had a petty cash account and cash advances, for example, for those traveling who didn't have American Express cards. When Mr. Combs was paid in cash, how did it work? We'd match it if a contract. Were you aware of Mr. Combs' security staff carrying cash for him? I was not aware of that. And when you were responsible for his personal finances, what did you do? Budget for the year, properties, inflows, and outflows. What properties did he own? The Hamptons, New York, Miami, they were held in LLCs for anonymity and liability reduction and tax benefits. Did you oversee other personal accounts of Mr. Combs? Yes. Were you aware of him supporting other people? Yes, from his personal earnings. Your Honor, this might be a good place for us to take our break. Mr. Ferguson, before the break, we were discussing these bank records. What is 207 Anderson LLC? Mr. Combs' property in Alpine, New Jersey. What is the mailing address? 1710 Broadway. What are these internal transfers? $190,000 and $575,000 and $100,000 in December 2011. Who decided whether to initiate an internal transfer? Usually the comptroller. Do you remember these? No. And this outward transfer, to whom did it go? Cassandra Ventura. For how much? $20,000. And this one coming in? Roderick Ventura for $20,000. When did you leave the CFO position? End of 2012. Then Chief Growth Officer, the Revolt Media and TV. After you left, how often did you communicate with Mr. Combs? He texted me in 2024. I don't remember the day. Let me show you. I see. Nothing further. You grew up in the Bronx? Where did you go to high school? Stuyvesant. Where did you go to business school? Harvard MBA 1990. Then BMG Music Group? Yes, they own over 100 music labels worldwide. They own Arista, 50% of Bad Boy Records at a certain period of time. Could Mr. Combs then do whatever he wanted? No. There were Arista agreements. Coming from the Bronx, I thought he needed more companies that would hire people from the community. I saw that in Sean Combs. I thought it was a chance to have an impact. What was the onboarding? Interview, met some at Arista. So you didn't just meet Mr. Combs and get the job? No. How did Bad Boy change from 1999 to 2012? It added other businesses, records were getting competitive. Do you remember Notorious LLC? It was a magazine called Notorious. Bad Boy Records was established in 1990.
Now, for those of you who didn't realize the switch, we're currently on cross examination by the defense.
93? I think it was in 1996. Did Bad Boy have connections to Interscope? Yes, and UMG, Rhino. Who is Andre Harrell? He founded Uptown Records, went to Motown, then back to Bad Boy. What was the spirits business called? Eventually it was called Combs Wines and Spirits. I was involved in the start with Diageo. What issues arose with Diageo? At this moment, the prosecution objected, and it was unclear if it was sustained or overruled. Were there differences about how to market?
Hey, Kai.
There are always differences of opinion. We had
What's that?
conversations. How do we drive it more? Was the
Yeah.
brand everywhere like competitors? At this moment, the prosecution asked for a sidebar. Then they continued. Were you concerned that Diageo was
You what?
marketing Ciroc primarily in certain areas to certain people?
What
My
do you mean, a
opinion,
block?
on your personal knowledge. The distribution was highly
A
concentrated.
plug?
The question was why? Diageo was marketing it more in urban areas than more broadly. Okay, what about Revolt?
Probably.
It was owned by Highbridge Capital Management, which was purchased by JP Morgan Chase. I think so.
You found one?
Highbridge had 2 seats?
You
Yes,
sure?
2 of 5 seats on Revolt. What were you
Okay.
at Revolt? Chief Operating Officer?
You back?
What did that entail? Finance, production? And Sean Combs wasn't in the management, right? He was not. Let's look at DX 1901 about Combs Enterprises. Let's put up the redacted version. Here you have James Cruz and the HR officer after Vashta Wilson, Andre Harrell, and yourself. This is the team. What is digital? Your pause says enough. Personal versus business expenses. What's your accounting background? I was a CPA for a time. You never saw Mr. Combs sitting reviewing his American Express bill? No. When there was a partnership with another company, they would look at the books as well, right? Yes. Many high profile people have personal assistants, yes? They do? Security was part of the business? Yes. Security's job was to be in close proximity with Mr. Combs, yeah, so that no one would do something dangerous to him, right? Cool. Right. Let's talk about cash. What was the cash receipt form? When is it used? For example, touring. At this moment, the defense asked for a sidebar, then continue. All right. Did you see anyone help Sean Combs commit crimes? No. Did you see anyone make the company stronger through coercion? Can you explain that one? What did you mean by coercion? Through, or anything like that? No. You were there 19 years. How hard was it? Building from scratch, long hours. Did you send Mr. Combs a text in November 2017? No. I'll show you. Did you tell Mr. Combs you learned so much from him? Yes. He pushed the entire team. He had passion. You're a religious man? At this moment, the prosecution objected, and it was sustained. You're on the board of his charter school? Yes. The school tries to work with at risk children? At this moment, the prosecution objected, and it was sustained. Do you think highly of Mr. Combs? I don't know how to respond to that. Nothing further. At this moment, the redirect began. Was Revolt Films entirely separate from Revolt TV? Yes. Who was the head of Revolt Films? I don't know. Did you ever stay in a hotel room with Mr. Combs? No. On this org chart, who is the chairman? Sean Combs. And you see Christina Coram here? Yes. Do you see the name Mia? Development and acquisitions. Nothing further. At this moment, the recross began. You didn't go to his home or hotel because that's his personal life, right? At this moment, the prosecution objected, and it was sustained. Nothing further. And that was it for the day in the Diddy trial.
Okay. Now, for those of you who are just getting in here, we're reviewing day 14 as well as day 15. So I'm going to save my comments for the end of day 15 to kind of go over the key moments for day 14 and day 15. Now, let's go ahead and get into day, um, hold on a second, I messed up. We're going to go over the day 15's testimony now. But that was a lot, with the security guard as well as Combs's former chief financial officer, Derek Ferguson, who kind of gave a little more insight on the financials and how money was actually moved and circulated through the organization, which I think this is kind of the government's. I'm expecting, I'm anticipating, and all as well as expecting the government to present a more of a deep dive into the financials to connect um, different transactions. And if they don't do that, I'm going to tell you guys right now, that's going to be a huge miss because a part of the RICO statute is also money laundering. So if they want to prove that, they're going to need a little bit more than Derek Ferguson's testimony. I think Derek Ferguson's testimony scratched the surface, but there needs to be a little bit more of connecting the dots when it comes to the financials and how the organization operated in with regards to the money.
Come. All parties are presumed innocent until proven guilty. Listen at your own discretion. The government calls Frank Piazza. Where do you work? Legal, audio, and video. Have you testified before? Mostly criminal matters. I've also.
Guys, please bear with me through this testimony. It's a bit dry and bland, but this gentleman is a video forensic expert, and it's really not that interesting, nor is it like um riveting. I I definitely believe that the government is presenting this witness to rebut the defense's claims that the video shared on CNN and also the video shared in court has not been tampered with, because that was one of the biggest bones of contention that the defense has presented in open court to the jury. So they had to get this video expert to verify that the video was not tampered with.
So done some civil and depositions. Have you been qualified as an expert? 50 times. We moved to qualify Mr. Piazza as an expert. How many times have you worked for SDNY? 50 or 100 times. Does that impact your testimony? No. I do 75% defense work. Are you being paid? What is your hourly rate? $295. You analyzed cell phone videos and surveillance videos. Yes. Let me show you. What is a frame rate? Frame per second. It can cause a video to have more info per second. This cell phone video of a video, was shot on an iPhone 6, 30 frames a second. It was not edited or tampered with, I found. Did you reach a conclusion? They are accurate. And the surveillance videos? There were issues. The clock was set to play 30 frames a second, but this was 22 frames, so it played faster. We had to account for that. How? We counted the frames and used software to correct the timing. Were the surveillance videos altered? No. Here, the video stream was corrupted. This has caused a distortion. The whole file or just these small pieces? The corruption exists in the video stream. There is a structure called a GOP, a group of pictures. We have predictive frames. You don't know this, but a static camera does not re-record a wall that doesn't move each second. It is repeated. Only what moves is recorded. Thank you. Play 55 seconds. Did you see pixelation? Yes. Does it represent manipulation? No. You can choose motion activity. The camera only turns on when there is motion, but it causes timestamp issues. Go back frame by frame. I want to point something out. This seems to be a collision of two issues. Look at the male sitting down. There appears to be a ghost of a person. The motion activity begins to sense that we have motion. Now there is a full figure in the frame. That file is corrupted. Did you make a compilation? Yes, your office requested it. They are edited to track the movement of individuals inside the events. Does it have different camera angles in it? Yes. How did you show the changes? Black screen. Is this the compilation? Yes. Play the first 30 seconds. What is happening? The male is running down the hallway. He throws her down. What did the man just do? Dragging the woman, holding a bag. How? What is he holding? It appears to be a cell phone, glowing. Let's.
So they're playing yet again the LA Intercontinental video in open court for
Let's
the
focus on what
for
happens in
the
the end.
expert to give his expert opinion, which I want you guys to realize that this is a shrewd move on the government's part. Shrewd, because they're getting this piece of evidence in as many times as humanly possible.
Play it. What happened? The male picked up a small object, what appears to be a vase, and threw it across the room at the woman. Continue playing. Who is emerging now? The female, with a duffel, her luggage. Now who? The security person. Now the man walks away. Holding what? Appears to be a cell phone. He puts it to his ear. You find these accurate? Yes, and this was all the footage I had. Let's turn to the videos labeled P, X201 to 210. Let me clarify. These are under seal. These were recovered from the Frank Black user on a device provided to the US by Mix Ventura. These are enhanced versions of original videos created.
What he's referring to now are actual SMEX tapes. They actually enhanced the sound of these videos. I'm assuming they enhanced the sound to try to hear what was being said during the FOs.
In 2012, 2014. Mr. Piazza, what were you asked to do with the content? Enhance the audio component. We admitted these videos into evidence, and no further questions.
What is your understanding of the source of those surveillance videos?
The native system.
How did they come to your possession?
They were exported and transcoded.
Who gave the surveillance video to you?
The U.S. Attorney's Office.
Who gave it to them?
I don't know.
Did you say it was from a cheap system?
I don't think I said that.
Let me show you notes. So you called it cheap?
I don't know when this document was created.
But you thought the system was cheap?
In a way.
Let me play you 10C103. There are 2 minutes not shown.
This is my corrected version, but there are a few issues that we cannot correct. The system is buffering some of that time, and some portions were motion activated.
Let's again play the mail coming into the elevator bank at 11:02, and then the timestamps are jumping around.
It's constantly playing catch up.
Play ahead. We're at 11:11:28. The female picks up the house phone. There's some sort of cut. Can you explain?
Can you back up and go frame by frame?
Sure, but is the mail separated from her?
Yes, the bag drop triggered it.
A 10-second difference. Let's watch it again. Did we just jump about 10 seconds on the timestamp?
Yes, there is a 5-second offset between the two cameras. That's what you just showed.
Okay, the female picks up the phone and the male walks away. Start again, please. Is this his walking away?
Yes.
Play more. Did you see this translucent or ghost-like figure in the cell phone video as in the surveillance video?
The cell phone video was not high quality enough to capture it.
But it's not there.
It is not.
Mr. Piazza, thank you so much for coming. We have no further questions for you.
At this moment, the redirect began.
So they are 5 minutes off? My notes told me there was a 5-minute, 55-second difference and another offset of 5 seconds.
Do these videos reliably and accurately depict what happened?
Yes.
No further questions. The government calls Brianna Bongalan. What else are you called?
Bana,
What do you work in?
fashion design,
What did Mr. Combs do to you?
held me over a 17th-story balcony.
Any after effects?
Night terrors. I wake up in my sleep.
Who is this?
It's Cassandra Ventura, Cassie, my friend. I met her in 2013 at Young and Reckless, the streetwear company, then at Diamond Designs.
How would you describe Cassie's relationship with Mr. Combs?
Volatile. I did not want to meet him right away. I had seen a black eye. She begged me to meet him.
Did you do design work for Mr. Combs?
A little.
Where did Mr. Combs live?
I think in like Beverly Hills.
At this moment, the defense...
Break.
So this is the individual that Cassie named in her civil lawsuit against Diddy, stating that he dangled her friend over a balcony.
objected on grounds of speculation, and the judge sustained it.
Do you know the name of the street?
Mapleton. 200 South Mapleton.
What did you do with Cassie?
And we'd go shopping. We'd hang out with Deontay and others.
Is this a photo of you and Cassie shopping?
Yes, in April 2016. Puff texted Cassie, asked where she was, sent a list where we'd been.
Had you or Cassie told Mr. Combs where you were?
No.
How did it make you feel?
At this moment, the defense objected, but was overruled.
Like, oh my God, he knows where we've been.
Where would you sleep at Cassie's?
Couch or balcony.
Did Mr. Combs come over?
Yes, he banged on the door and came in.
Do you know how?
I don't know. He was upset. He threw a knife in her direction, and she threw it back. He left swiftly.
Were you doing drugs?
I don't remember.
Did you call the police?
No,
Why not?
I was scared.
Did you see injuries on Cassie?
She showed me on FaceTime before makeup for the perfect match.
What did she say?
She was quiet. We were at a party at the Blind Dragon, a karaoke bar in West Hollywood. Then we went to Cassie's house to help her pack. Deontay was there. Puff came.
Are you under subpoena?
Yes, I won't get in trouble if I am truthful.
Did Mr. Combs provide you drugs?
Yes, one was called G. I am not an avid user. Ketamine, marijuana, coke,
How often did you get drugs for Cassie?
often. Those oxy pills.
Did she pay you?
Yes,
Did you get drugs from Mr. Combs?
yes, once. Cocaine.
Did you sell drugs to others?
Yes, sometimes.
Did you try with Cassie to stop?
Yes, we try to cook, but there were a lot of drugs around.
Has Mr. Combs ever threatened you?
Yes,
Let me show you a photo from April 2016. Who is in it?
this photographer who goes by the name Bad Boy with an eye. We thought it was cool that was his name. We thought we'd made some art. Puff came up close to my face and said, I am the devil, and I could kill you.
Were you taking drugs that day?
Probably cocaine.
Did you continue to see Mr. Combs after that?
Yes,
Why?
I don't know.
Did you tell the government about this threat in your first meeting?
No,
Why?
At this moment, the defense objected and was sustained.
What happened on the balcony?
I was there.
Who was there?
Cassie and my ex-girlfriend at the time.
What were you doing?
Sleeping on the couch with my ex.
Doing drugs.
I don't recall.
What did you do when Mr. Combs arrived?
I took my ex-girlfriend to the bathroom. I went shh.
Why?
I didn't want to expose her to what I saw.
Then?
Went out on the balcony and either lit the blunt or was about to. Mr. Combs came up behind me on the balcony. He lifted me up and put me on the railing.
Can you show us how he held you?
To myself.
Show us. How much did you weigh?
I can't say because of the drugs, but about 115 pounds.
What did Mr. Combs scream at you?
He yelled, "You know what the fuck you did?" I said back, "I don't know what the fuck I did."
How long did he hold you there?
How long it takes to say that multiple times? You know what the fuck you did.
What next?
He threw me on the balcony furniture.
Were you injured?
I didn't know at first.
What did Cassie say?
Along the lines of, "Did you just hang her over the balcony?" Then I heard, "Her girlfriend is in the house." He left and I left. I wanted to take a shower. I felt disgusted. I saw a huge bruise on my leg with like a piercing in the middle and back and neck pain.
Is this photo a fair and accurate representation of your leg?
Yes, I called one of my managers and they said, "If you're scared of anything else, just go to a chiropractor."
Did you tell the chiropractor who done it to you?
No, they asked, but I just paid and took the neck brace.
Is the neck brace in this photo of you?
Yes.
Did you ever talk with Mr. Combs about this?
I said, "I don't want any problems with you." He didn't say anything.
When did you last see them?
January 2nd, 2018.
How do you remember?
I tattooed the date on myself.
Why?
It's the day I decided to get sober. It was a New Year's thing in Miami at the one hotel. Puff, Cassie and I did 8 hours of ketamine together.
Are you aware Cassie included the balcony incident in her complaint?
Yes, I told her she had facts wrong. It wasn't in a hotel, and Tiffany.
Have you talked with Cassie about your testimony or hers?
No, I have nightmares, I scream.
When the last time you had nightmares?
The other day.
Have you hired a lawyer about the balcony incident?
Yes.
Allergies got you.
Now we're on the defense's cross by Nicole Westmoreland. If you guys didn't, they don't always announce that it's cross or redirect in these oh readings of exactly what happened. They normally, they don't always, I should say, announce that it's cross, but we're on cross and the defense is up to bat. I'm gonna run it back just a little bit so you could hear Brianna's testimony. Well, this part of her testimony.
I decided to get sober. It was a New Year's thing in Miami at the one hotel. Puff, Cassie and I did 8 hours of ketamine together.
Are you aware Cassie included the balcony incident in her complaint?
Yes, I told her she had facts wrong. It wasn't in a hotel, and Tiffany.
Have you talked with Cassie about your testimony or hers?
No, I have nightmares, I scream.
When the last time you had nightmares?
The other day.
Have you hired a lawyer about the balcony incident?
Yes, my first lawyer. Hired in January 2024.
Did you mention everything in your first meeting with us?
No.
Did your first lawyer send demand letters to Mr. Combs?
Multiple. And the demand was high. He picked it.
Did you approve the letters?
No, they were incorrect. I let him go.
Who?
Tyrone Blackburn.
Did people reach out to you?
Tiffany, Cassie, the producer Rob Holliday.
Was he friends with Mr. Combs?
Yes.
At this moment, the defense asked for a sidebar. Then they continued.
Who did Mr. Holliday say he was calling for?
Puff.
What offer was he authorized to offer?
At this moment, the defense objected, and it was sustained.
How did you feel during the call?
So now we're on redirect,
At this
guys.
moment, the defense said non-responsive. Then the judge said sustained. Move on unless you are prepared to ask some of the foundational questions we discussed at sidebar.
Did you talk with him again?
No.
At this moment, the defense asked for a sidebar, and there was an objection, which was sustained.
Your lawsuit, did you write it?
No.
How much is being requested?
$10 million.
Nothing further.
At this moment, the cross-examination began.
I need to ask you some questions. You have immunity as long as what you say today is true, right?
Yes.
Who decides if you're lying?
The prosecutors.
Ms. Bongolan, you were a graphic designer.
Yes.
You and Cassie would work on designs, including at her house. True?
Yes.
All right. You were focused on a t-shirt design.
There were a lot of things.
She asked you to come over.
Yes.
You suggested Cassie do a photo shoot in the pool in just a t-shirt.
That wasn't the first idea. But yeah,
You began to feel comfortable with her?
sounds around it.
You spent the night?
Yes.
You went to parties with Cassie?
Not going to parties. We partied.
Okay, you did a lot of drugs with Cassie?
Yes.
How did marijuana make you feel?
Sometimes hungry.
How does ecstasy make you feel?
Uplifted.
How about G?
Like the negative parts of alcohol.
Perk?
I threw up.
Cocoa Puff?
Blunt with weed and cocaine.
You would agree with me that you and Cassie had a serious drug problem.
Yes.
You sold drugs to Cassie a lot.
Yes.
You got her hundreds of pills.
Yes. They were hers.
Name the drug dealers.
I don't know if I can.
Let's refresh. In this job, your clothing line did not work out due to the skater mentality at Diamond Supply Company.
I believe they saw the vision, but whatever.
You believed you were one of Cassie's best friends,
Yes.
but you didn't meet Mr. Combs for a year. You met in 2016, first time at a dinner at his house.
Yes.
He was standoffish with you.
Yes.
Did you talk with Deontay Nash after his testimony?
Yes.
But not about his testimony, right?
We know what's going on.
You don't need to talk because you know
At this moment, the prosecution objected, and it was sustained.
you hired Tyrone Blackburn to sue Mr. Combs.
It was to seek justice.
Your definition of justice is to sue Mr. Combs.
Can you rephrase that?
Suing for money?
Yes.
November 2023, you are aware Cassie filed a lawsuit. You were working together then.
Yes.
At this moment, the prosecution asked for a sidebar, and then they continued.
Cassie included the balcony incident in her lawsuit.
True.
Cassie said, this happened at a hotel, true?
She didn't say it like that.
You said, you're a...
There are quesadillas. And then there's Zach's piece of chocolate.
Yes, we have commercials, guys. I do apologize. I was looking at my other phone and I didn't catch it in time, but that's okay.
apartment. It has a balcony.
I didn't say it like that.
Cassie told you she never saw you over a balcony?
No, ma'am. I don't remember.
All right here. Read this page, then look up. You had these conversations
I don't know.
about this alleged balcony incident. You and Ms. Ventura talked about the date, the place, who was there.
True.
In 2015 and 2016, you didn't see any signs of it's true?
I don't know the exact year.
The birthday party. What were you doing?
I don't remember.
Alleged knife throwing incident. He just walked in and threw a knife.
I'm not sure.
Are you telling the truth?
At this moment, the prosecution objected, and it was sustained.
Didn't you tell the government they would get in knife fights? Plural?
I don't remember.
Let me show you,
I was suggesting where the knife came from.
because it makes no sense. You're saying you don't know how he got in to throw the knife, but once he's left, you're no longer worried.
I don't remember how I felt.
You say at a photo shoot, Mr. Combs said, I could kill you?
Yes.
But at first, you told the government it was at a party.
I don't know.
Your first demand letter said Mr. Combs said I could kill you while he hung you over the balcony.
He did both, just not at the same time.
At this moment, they had a sidebar, then continued.
You met the government January 18th, 2024, didn't mention the I could kill you, but put it in your subsequent demand letter.
Yes, in a demand letter. I don't know when.
Read this,
The whole thing.
this paragraph.
Then the judge said, as much as you want.
Thanks. Okay.
You didn't tell the government about I could kill you, and Tyrone was there.
Yes, I let him go.
Drugs were expensive, right?
They are expensive.
Now,
I don't know.
did you run out of money for drugs?
I don't remember that.
You and Cassie had a drug partnership.
Yes.
Cassie would pay for the drugs. You'd go buy them.
Yes.
Did you meet the government on May 25th, 2025, and June 2nd, 3rd, and 4th?
Yeah, that's not long ago.
That's today.
I'm not good with dates.
The balcony incident. Didn't you tell the government there was a party in the apartment?
I don't remember that.
You told the government your girlfriend was in the bathroom, not that you took her in there.
My ex.
Your complaint says you were smoking a cigarette on the balcony, not weed.
I don't remember.
Different things.
Yes.
You told the government you recalled he was charging at you.
Don't remember.
Didn't you first say Mr. Combs sexually assaulted you on the balcony?
I showed them where his hands were.
You said he gripped your breasts, or your lawyers said it.
My lawyers said that.
Didn't you tell these prosecutors 2 days ago that you couldn't remember what happened out on that balcony?
I don't remember.
Do you remember what drugs you were on?
No.
Didn't you tell the government you took Molly, G, and cocaine?
That's a lot of drugs.
Didn't you take them all?
Not all on that night.
And that was the end of the day in the Diddy trial. What do you think about the testimonies today?
Okay. So that's all of the testimony for day 14 as well as day 15. And if I'm completely honest, um, day 14, in my opinion, goes to the government because of the testimony from Garcia as well as Ferguson. Because, in my opinion, they're putting together the building blocks as it relates to bribery with Garcia, and also kind of starting to open up with the financial piece of things, which, as I stated before, there's going to need to be a lot more disclosed by the government that bolsters the case of money laundering and bribery, and how the money moved around in the organization. Day 15, in my opinion, goes to the defense because they were able to basically tear Brianna Bungalow's testimony to shreds. Um, Pretty much every question that the defense had her, that asked her, her response was, I don't know, or I don't remember, or I'm not sure, or, it was just, I don't understand why on direct she seemed very convincing, very sure about events. But then when it was the defense's turn up to bat, it seemed that she was wavering quite a bit. I don't know if that was nerves. I'm not sure what occurred with her. Um, I will say that the government needs to ensure that the witnesses that they are presenting are ready for a hard cross. Diddy has hired 10 of the best legal minds in practicing or having um, approval to practice in the state of New York. So all of their witnesses need to be up to par. And with the fact that, Brianna was on so many intoxicants during this period of her life, I just wouldn't have called her because I don't view her as credible. Um, Doing drugs and, um, living through moments, your memory may be kind of not the best. Your memory is definitely cloudy. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about her testimony, regarding the events that occurred. Now, let's see here. That's just my opinion. But I think that the government was offering her testimony as well to bolster their claim regarding physical abuse. Um, and quite honestly, I don't think it really worked out. I really don't. She was contradictory. Exactly. And while you're on a lot of intoxicants, it's hard to recall, it's hard to remember events. However, Lisa, during direct examination, she was, kind of, her story was coming together rather, cohesively. But once the defense took over and Nicole Westmoreland went for cross examination, it just fell apart. So that's all. That's just my opinion. So day 14, like I said, the point goes to the government. Day 15, I'm giving it to the defense. So we're at 9 points for the government, 3 points for the defense. Now, that may change either drastically or the defense will catch up once they present their case in chief. And that's basically when it's their turn up to bat, their witnesses, their experts, their evidence. Okay, so guys, definitely stay tuned. Um, I am considering attending closing arguments, and I need your assistance to do so. If you guys are able to, definitely donate to the channel. I'm not yet monetized. I am working on monetization. Like, if you guys cannot donate or don't have the finances to donate, just watch my videos, watch my lives, play them, play my live streams so that I could get my watch hours up. See, with YouTube, if you're thinking about becoming a content creator, the way that YouTube has it set up right now, once you get to 500 subs and you have up to 3,000 watch hours in with them, you can become a partial partner. Basically, you get access to certain perks and certain things that can get you paid on YouTube, such as memberships, super chats, things of that nature. So if you're unable to donate, all I'm going to ask you just to watch, like, and comment and share my videos. But if you can send a monetary donation, my cash app is scrolling, isn't it? Why don't I see the scroll? Oh my gosh, the scroll is not there. Well, my cash app is $DANNISPLATE 2020. I thought it was scrolling this whole time. I literally set it up to scroll across the screen on the ticker. There it is. I have it scrolling now. Okay, I have it scrolling now. Why don't I see it on the video that I'm looking at? That's so strange. Oh, yes, it's there. Oh, gosh. Okay. So now it's up there on the video on the screen. So if you guys can donate, please. No amount is too small. I would love to actually be there in person for closing arguments. And if possible, stay through to the verdict. If I'm there for closing arguments and jury instructions, and it appears that, like deliberations may take a couple of weeks, I might just come back to North Carolina and then go back again, like, you know, but that is going to be difficult. That's going to be difficult because the jury can make a decision at any moment. They can make a decision at any moment, but I can't disregard the fact that the government has presented a lot of evidence, a lot of exhibits, evidence by way of testimony. For those who may not know, testimony is considered to be evidence. Okay, it's not just having like a exhibit like uh, DNA or GSR or, those tangible items that they located and found in Diddy's homes when they raided, like the pumes that they found, the drugs they found, different devices that they've scoured for information. It's not just those exhibits that count when you're in the court of law. Actual individuals taking the stand is considered to be testimony. So the jury's going to have to take all of the people's testimonies into account. All of the individuals that have testified thus far, they're going to have to review and dissect and figure out, do I believe this witness or not? Does this witness come across as being credible and truthful? or not. They will also have to look at all of the actual physical evidence that the government has presented. In addition to that, they're going to be required to also take a look at the defense's evidence, because the judicial system is not one-sided. Okay, the jury has to take into account both sides of argument as well as witness testimony and exhibits. So they will have to look at all of this evidence. And so far, the government has presented a lot of witness testimony and a decent amount of tangible evidence. So I'm thinking that jury deliberations may last 10 days, and I'm sticking on 10 days. If you guys want to kind of do a pool over here, we could take up bets to see, just a friendly pool, no money involved, just to see, what are your thoughts? Do you think this is going to be a quick deliberation, or do you think it's going to be a week? Do you think it's going to be 2 weeks? How long do you think it's going to take for the jury to come up with their verdict? I'm going to stick to 10 days no matter what. I'm sticking to 10 days no matter what, because I think when they're in that room and they're working, it's usually like an 8 hour day. They're working 8 hours and simply reviewing evidence, and they will be sequestered during the deliberation period. I think they'll be able to move through evidence relatively quickly. Um, Hopefully, they can get into a groove and be very efficient, but I'm thinking it's going to be 10. You guys let me know what you think. How long do you think it will take for this jury to come up with a verdict in the case of the United States versus Sean P. Diddy Combs? Let me know now in the comments, or if you're catching the replay, let me know in the comments. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off here. Thank you so much for being here, guys. Lisa says, what? Coco Cutie, Crystal Mods, Libby Lou. I appreciate all of you. Bush Babies, I see you guys. Thank you for being here. All right. I'll catch you on the next one. Later.